Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be a get ready with me, as you can see, and a get to know me. I was just thinking, that I really haven't done a get to know me video. I've done like why I am pregnant at 22 years old and just a few videos like that, really regarding the pregnancy and my decisions, but not a really well-rounded get to know me video. So I decided that's what I would do today, you guys. I hope that you guys really enjoy this video, and yeah, go ahead and continue watching. All right, so I already prepped my skin, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. So I wrote down some talking points, you guys, because I really want you guys to get to know me. Like, I'm trying to create, just like people, like the people that I want to watch my channel, subscribe to me, are people that know me. You know what I mean? Like, I want you guys to know me. I don't want you to feel like you're just following some random person. So that's why, I really thought that I would go ahead and do a get to know me video, because I really haven't done one. I haven't done one. I feel like the only thing I've done that started to share a little bit about me is really my, why did I choose to get pregnant at 22, and like those types of videos, really just talking about my pregnancy, but I haven't really talked about me outside of the pregnancy, so I thought that would be really fun to do. So let's start off with how old am I? I already shared that, but for the people that don't know, I am 22 years old. My birthday is November 22nd. If you're into zodiac signs, I am a Sagittarius. I love being a Sagittarius. Like, okay, so disclaimer, you guys. I am not one of those people that's like, oh, like, I'm a Sagittarius, so let me read this thing, and this means that my personality's this and this and this. No, I definitely feel like there is some truth in the zodiac signs and what they have to say, but I'm not like, I don't think that you should use them as like, oh, this is going to describe my whole life and like my personality. No, definitely not. Like, zodiac signs are basically just, giving you another little tidbit on like, why you could act a certain way, why your personality may be a certain way, why you may be attracted to certain people. But it's not like something that I use in totality of like, who I am and what my interests are. But yes, so I am a Sagittarius. I love being a Sagittarius as well. I love what being a Sagittarius woman stands for. If you don't know, look it up. It's basically just a little bit, I'll give you a little tidbit, just being free spirit. I'm such a I am such a free-spirited person, you guys. I would say, like, definitely, like, growing up, I was truly a free-spirited gal. I will say, as I've gotten older and had to have more responsibilities, of course, like, that's toned down. You can only be, like, personally, this is my opinion, right? You can only be so free-spirited when you're like out here trying to survive in this world, you know what I mean? But like, still free-spirited at heart, you guys. And I definitely move to the beat of my own drum. That's like 110%. I don't really like being told what to do. I like making my own decisions. I like people around me to be able to make their own decisions, and not be too swayed by other people. Like, of course, it's good to take people's advice, X, Y, and Z, but at the end of the day, I truly feel like it's your life that you're living. So, like, you don't really need other people's advice, at the end of the day, to make your final decision, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely super like that. I can be very, very blunt. And basically, if you rub me the wrong way too many times, I'm not going to treat you how I once did. You're going to be put into a different place in my life, and you're going to get a different side of me. I would say that overall I'm a super, super nice person. Like literally I am. Like literally I am. Like everyone that, I know literally says how nice of a person I am. And that's because I truly, really am. Like, I'm not even playing around trying to act like I'm nice and I'm like talking mess behind people's back. Like, no. I definitely am a nice girl. I love nice girls. I feel like there's no like reason in this world that we should be not nice girls, to be honest. Like, for the most part, like we should not be bullying each other. We should be uplifting each other. We should want to see each other win. Like, that's truly the vibes. So I am definitely like that. And a part of being free spirited and liking to make my own decisions, that has gotten me into a few predicaments in my life. So when I was 18, I left my parents' house. That's like a whole other story. We could say kicked out. We could say, some say I moved out. Like, that's a whole thing. So if you guys are interested in that video, I can definitely, go into detail, somewhat into detail about what happened with that. But yes, so I moved out of my parents' house when I was 18 years old, and I was in college. Well, I had basically just stopped being in college at that time, but I had been going to college. I chose to go to a community college here in Sacramento. And so that's what I was doing. And then I had stopped going just because I was like, I wasn't feeling it like at all. I didn't know like what I was going for. I wasn't motivated. I just felt like, and I just disclaimer, I was also paying for it myself. Like, it was like I was barely getting any financial aid because, they try to act like your parents' income is your income. Like, they act like if your parents make a specific amount of money, they think that your parents are going to pay for you to go to college. And that was not my case. And so with that, I didn't get great like financial aid options or anything. So I was paying for it myself and I just wasn't happy. I felt like I was wasting my time, and I just really wanted to take a step back, take a break, and really find out what I wanted to do. I was like looking up all types of different things. I was looking up like being a firefighter, I was literally like in a crisis mode because like I was depressed, you guys. I really was depressed, and I felt like, and my parents were always such, like, I was a good student in high school, so it's like my parents plus everyone else like assumed that I was gonna go to like a 4-year university or just go to the 2-year, then transfer eventually, graduate from college and do that whole path. And I felt like a big part of my identity was being a good student. And so when I was finding out that like I don't really know what I'm doing, like I want some more time to figure it out and not just pour my money down the drain and not be successful in my classes because I was depressed, I was honestly kind of embarrassed. I was embarrassed, that I needed that time. I was embarrassed that, I wasn't able to be successful right off the bat in college because I had always been such a good student. And so I felt like I was letting people down. And this was like kind of like a unusual feeling for me. Like I shared, like I am really like, I don't usually care about other people's opinions. And I like to like do me basically. And so this was like the fact that it was taking such a toll on me was like really, it was really hard. It was really hard, you guys. And my parents, always thought that I was going to be like this, like it was just going to be low-key, not easy, but like that was the path I was going to take, like, so it was surprising for them when I decided like this is actually not for me, especially not in this moment. And so that didn't go well, to be honest. And my mom was like, well, what are you going to do? I just felt like I could do a whole other video on this because like that's what it would need to give both sides of the story. But a little bit of my side is like I feel like my mom didn't really give me enough time to like figure out an alternative. I feel like because I didn't do it exactly what she wanted to do and I just decided boom, like she felt like I just decided boom, like I'm done with college, like I don't want to do this, but like I had already been, dealing with these emotions for X amount of time and made the decision for myself, which to her seemed irrational, to just stop in like the middle of a semester. So, she was frustrated at that and was like really on me, like, well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And, I just felt like I didn't have time to figure out what I wanted to do, and things escalated, and one thing led to another, and I was at the house. So that was really hard. Like, thankfully, which is now one of my best friends, was texting several people like that night when I was out of my parents' house. I was texting several friends like, hey, can I stay over? Yada, yada, yada. Because one thing about my mother is she is a stubborn one. She is a stubborn one. Both of my mothers. I have two moms. Both of my mothers are very stubborn in my opinion, and love them, but this is the fact of my life. And so literally she was like, you are not taking the car, like you're not taking your car, go ahead and leave those keys. I'm like, bruh. And so like I'm like in their driveway outside at night, like texting hecka friends like, hey, can I sleep over, like WTF, you know what I mean? And so one of my, the friend that became my best friend, was like, yeah, like my mom said you can come over, yada, yada, yada. And so that's just what I did. And I ended up staying there for like a year and a half, almost 2 years, I believe it was. So that was definitely a big adjustment. We were dealing with roaches, like it's just a matter of the fact, you know what I mean? It was a very like what's the word? Like it was just a not upkeep household. I don't even know how to say it. Upkept household. The landlord was literally crap and didn't care. It was just giving very much poverty. And so that was definitely a change for me, and I will say that I definitely became depressed in that state. I started indulging in Mary Jane, and I was just really going through it. I was working at Jamba Juice at the time. So that was, giving me some sort of income, but because I had no car, I was literally lifting to work every day. So that was, another struggle, because then basically my money's going down the drain, because it was about maybe like 14 minutes away from my house or so. So that's like a decent lift, you guys. And so that was really hard. It was a kind of, even though it was really hard, I will say it was definitely like an empowering time. It was definitely something, well, that became empowering. It was definitely something that obviously helped me grow into the person I am today. But I will not discredit my feelings in the moment. Like that was a really hard situation that I had went in. That was a really hard situation that I was in, and for several months I was having a really, really hard time with the adjustment, feeling like, a sense of betrayal from my parents, feeling like, it was me against the world type of vibe. And I was really down bad, like my feelings were really hurt, and like because of different respects. And so, I was really going through it. And so definitely shout out to my bestie for really being there for me, and her family for being there for me, and for allowing me to, stay there. And they really never asked for anything, to be honest. And they really just took me in, even though they didn't have much to give. They gave what they could, and I'll never forget that. And honestly, so then moving forward, fast forward, I met my boyfriend. He actually, he came into the Jamba Juice I was working at. And this actually, funny thing, actually, we met before I even left my parents' house. He came into the Jamba Juice, and it was like this whole thing where we're like, because we went to middle school together, but we hadn't seen each other literally since middle school, you guys. And so that was like a really interesting like moment because we hadn't seen each other literally since middle school, and come to find out he had been thinking that he saw me like around the town like leading up to that moment, and like he was like interested or whatever, but I never saw him. So then when he came into that Jamba Juice, I was like smitten. I'm not even gonna lie, you guys. Like the moment he left the Jamba Juice, I was literally texting friends, like mutual friends that we have, and like people that we went to school with, like, yo, like, do you have his social media? Because he was like we fell off the face of each other's like world after middle school. Like, I had no idea what school he was at. I had no idea, like, nothing about him, dude. And then literally one day he just pops up into Jamba Juice. It was wild. But yeah, so I was like texting mutual friends talking about like, dude, like, do you guys have Michael's social media? Like X, Y, and Z, like, give it to me. And then I found him on Facebook. I remember, like, I found his mom on Facebook. And I remember just like, this is so embarrassing, but not really. I remember I was just like stalking his mom's profile, like trying to look at pictures, like, and just get like see what the vibes were before I like went ahead and texted him, or like, you know, sent him a message or whatever. And there's just one picture that I remember that just swept me off my feet. It was like this cute picture his mom posted with him and his little sister like in a raft on the river or something. And dude, I was like, oh, he's giving family man. I was like I just remember like feeling like, oh yeah, like definitely I want to give this a shot. And this was like the first person ever that I literally shot my shot, you guys, like on this magnitude. Like, I literally just got his Snapchat, and I just literally went ahead and messaged him. It was like super into bodybuilding and whatnot, so I like started the I remember like started the conversation off of some sort of like like talk like that, like, oh, we should work out soon or whatever. And then basically the rest was history, you guys. And then shortly after we like got together, that's when I left my parents' house, and I'm just also so grateful for him, and him and his mom and his family too, because when I was going through that rough time and I was not on speaking terms with my family for a long time, you guys, like literally, like, I don't even know how long it was, but like a whole like year and a half, like it was like hard. Like, I would see my parents on like, you know, big occasions, like my cousin's birthday parties and stuff like that, and like occasionally we would talk. There was like a few times in the beginning where we met up and try to talk about the situation, which never ended well because none of us could come to terms with basically each other's sides of the story. And yeah, so honestly, like, fast forward, like, we just had to agree to disagree on many respects, to be honest. And that was kind of hard for a long time because I'm like, bruh, like, how do you not see this from my perspective? Like, I felt like I could see certain things from their perspective, but I felt like they could not see anything from my perspective. So that was really hard to swallow for a while. But one thing that, you know, that taught me, this situation taught me, so I'm grateful for, I'm not even mad, is that, you know, you really can't force anyone to see things from your perspective. And even though it may be hard, you also can't harbor any resentment for someone not seeing something from your perspective. Like harboring things, because for a while I would, you know, randomly get like really triggered about the whole situation, and I would be like, you know, talking to Michael, and like he helped me, plus, you know, I helped myself, just really having to learn, like, I just have to let it go, to be honest. I have to accept the situation for exactly as it happened, and I have to know that, you know, they weren't coming from like really a malicious place. Like, my parents weren't coming from a malicious place. They were coming from whatever their perspective was. And, you know, my parents had specific upbringings and whatnot, and then that led into playing into what happened, you know, with our situation. And so, you know, I can't really harbor any resentment, or I'm really just hurting myself, to be honest. And I had to really just let it go. So I honestly just let it go, you guys. So fast forward. So I was just super, super grateful for my boyfriend and his family, because when I was going through my, really rough time, they were really there for me. Like, I would go over to their house for dinners and whatnot. Because like I said, at my best friend's house, I was feeling in a very depressed state. And it wasn't because of them. It was just my environment, to be honest, and the conditions in which I left my parents' house, it were all just very depressing. Like, there was many depressing things, like, and so they would, I would be able to go over there and have dinner. I would just be over there and hang out with Michael, and like just being with him definitely made me feel better, because he was a great person and is a great person to be around. And we definitely had our fair share of crazy, like, getting together when we were, 19, is wild, because we definitely both had a lot of growth to do, and we were both down for the craziness and the drama, so we would definitely allow that to escalate. But it was still definitely a wonderful, so yes, so I'm just super grateful for them. And like, his mom was just really there for me too, and she had like her own certain predicaments with her upbringing, so we were able to bond over specific things. And it was just a really good place to be when I didn't want to be at my best friend's house and just stuff like that. And then fast forward, like, that really kind of catapulted me into figuring out like what I wanted to do, like dreams and aspirations wise, because since I was, now not at my parents' house, and I was fully able to basically dream, but more so like on an entrepreneurial level, because that's what I was finding that I wanted to do. And honestly, no one in my family has gone down like an entrepreneurial path in that moment. Fast forward, I'll tell you guys, my uncle did start his own, like, I really don't even know, like, I don't want to discredit him at all, but I think it's like a accounting firm. I am pretty sure that's what it's called. Or a CPA firm. I think that's what it's called. But yes, but in that moment, I was really trying to do that, and I feel like my family wasn't like feeling the vibes at all, because they were definitely like career based. You go to college and then you find your career and you excel at that. You have like that safety net. There's like that comfortability with that. But I wasn't comfortable with that. I wasn't happy like in any of that. I definitely had times where I was like, maybe I could be a teacher, or maybe I could be a psychologist. But there was just so many different factors for each of those things that I thought I was interested, that just were not like, it wasn't for me. Like, for instance, for being a teacher, I was so interested in being an elementary school teacher, because as you guys know, I love kids, right? Like, I would love to do that. But unfortunately, teachers, especially elementary school teachers, really do not make a great amount of money to live. And the fact that I wanted 5 kids on top of that, I'm like, dude, how am I going to like make this happen and have the life that I aspire to have? So that was out. And then I'm like, let me be a psychologist, but then you need to go to school for like 10 years. And like, already that was my whole point, was like, I'm not really feeling this school thing and like putting all my money down for this. So that was out. And I'm just like, dude, there was just a lot. And I was always really interested in just like doing something for myself. I really didn't like, and I really don't like having to answer to like a boss, for instance. Like, I want to be my own boss. And so when I met Michael, that was something that we really bonded on, because like, I think it was like our first date, or maybe our second, to be honest. It was like one of our very first dates, and he was really with the vibes. Like, I remember he was telling me all like of the things and businesses that he wanted to do, and like he actually had like ideas for businesses that he wanted to create, which I thought was so interesting, because I like, you know, knew I wanted to do something along those lines, but I hadn't really like really thought of like any businesses that I could create myself, or like, you know, like really push the pedal to the metal. And so it was really cool to like find someone that actually had the same thought process, and like they've already freaking had some ideas like down. So that was really dope. And I feel like we both just jived off of each other's energy, and that's how we eventually, right? That's how we eventually created our cleaning business. And so that was something that was so dope, because we both got that sense of like, because we both didn't want anyone to be like our boss. We wanted to be our own bosses. We wanted our like our time, which is so important to us. And so when we have finally, like, you know, like, okay, so one funny thing was like, we always say this, is like, we threw things at the wall. Like, that's one thing that me and Michael will do, is throw ideas at the wall and just wait for one of them to stick. Started off just doing residential cleaning, and then we made our way into Airbnb cleaning solely. And so we were really just like throwing things at the wall, and like starting a business is honestly super, like, I don't know how to say it. Like, it's hard yet easy at the same time. Like, it's a matter of really just doing it and just starting, because you can research things all day, but the thing that's gonna make the difference is just putting the pedal to the metal, like just starting. And so like that was something that was really interesting, and like we had to like, you know, learn, because we were like super like interested in like the whole process of the cleaning businesses, and we were like really trying to learn everything, and like what should we do. Like, so we created like this big old car magnet sign for like marketing purposes. We made business cards, and we were out in these neighborhoods like ringing doorbells and this and that, like trying to get people to, you know, like invest in our business, in part of like, you know, them wanting us to clean their houses and etc. But really the difference, like I will really say, like making the car magnet and the business cards, that's really not what, like that didn't make the difference for us. The difference for us was when we like created our Yelp account, and we just started going out to people's houses and cleaning. Like that's what really catapulted us into like making our highest month of like $9,000, was because we just did the thing. And then people's word of mouth and leaving reviews, like those are the things that actually made the difference, not the freaking card magnet, not the business cards. It was just really getting out there and grinding, and then letting our work speak for itself. So definitely when me and Michael got together was a time when I really started to dive deep into what I really wanted to do, and like actually like, you know, figuring it out, and just like deciding like, you know what, like even if I don't necessarily know at this second, like it's all gonna be good and I'm gonna figure it out type deal. And as time went on, also, this literally looks crazy, I know. We're just gonna wait for the finished product, okay? Okay, so as time went on, and you know, we were doing our business, yada, yada, yada. I was always also super interested in like vlogs and the whatnot. At first, it was really watching makeup vlogs, was like where I started, or makeup videos, I should say. And then it turned into watching vlogs and the whatnot. And I just always thought that was super cool. Like literally recording yourself, chopping it up to the camera, and, you know, making a living off of that. Like what? Like why would I not want to do that? Basically is how I was feeling, because I love to talk. So I was like, that seems like such a vibe. I would love to do that. But I just never really like put too much thought into it. And I was always like, honestly, and then I like started doing ASMR videos first, but like I always felt like there was like some hesitation of me doing vlogs. Like I just felt like that was so scary. Like I don't know what the big difference is like sitting in front of a camera and freaking doing ASMR and making vlogs. Like, I don't know why I was so scared to make vlogs and the whatnot, but there was something that was really, really scary about that, and I just didn't even want to pick up the camera and try. So for the longest time, I was like, you know, doing some, not like the longest time, but like I was doing ASMR videos, and it was awesome, and I feel like it definitely helped me get more comfortable in front of the camera, but it wasn't something that I truly was passionate about, and that obviously showed because I am not doing them at this point anymore. And I just wasn't as passionate about it. And then once I really just decided, like, all right, I've done ASMR videos for X amount of time, it is time to, you know, pick up this camera and do what I truly want to do. That was like super, super exciting for me, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it, you know? Like, there's really nothing that can stop me, especially like I've shared in previous videos, is like, I have the time. Like, why would I not? Like, I'd be so silly. I would be so silly to not really go for my dreams because I am blessed with the time, you know? So I was like, I literally, like, I cannot afford to not do this. Like, I would regret it for the rest of my life, not trying to chase my dreams, when like that's the biggest part of my life, is like being able to chase my dreams. Like, that's what I've always wanted to do, is just to be able to chase my dreams, you know? Like, hello. So I started doing my freaking YouTube videos, and I literally am so, so happy. Like, I watched this video today actually, and she was like, she has, I think, like 300k subscribers or something like that. And she was basically talking about, she was like answering questions, and one of them was like, how did you get to where you are now? And she was talking about, like, and a lot of people say this, like, it takes like a sense of delusion, to be honest, like, to be sitting here making these videos for people that are not even watching yet. Like, it takes a sense of delusion, and like, because I'm doing it because I'm invested, and I know that like the outcome is going to be greater, but at the same time I'm doing it because I really enjoy just making videos. Like, it's honestly really fun. And I love vlogs, and I love just sitting and talking in front of the camera and acting like, you know, my besties are on the other side of the freaking phone. But like, it takes a sense of delusion to really sit here and to make content and to freaking, you know, get on your laptop and edit these videos and upload them, and then you get like 10 views. Like, but like, that's literally what's gonna make the difference. And then just like being, you know, consistent with it, just like having a greater sense of why like I'm doing it, is really what has made the difference for me. And that's my greater sense of why, is because I want to be able to provide better for myself, provide better for my loved ones, and yeah, literally, yeah. Like, that's literally why. I can't tell if I like this or if I hate this. All right, you guys, this is the completed look. I went ahead and just did the final touches off camera. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It's kind of all over the place, but I was just sharing a whole bunch of things about me, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions in regards to anything I shared, you can definitely leave a comment down below. Or if you guys want me to elaborate on any specific topics, I would love to do so. Just go ahead and leave a comment. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be back with another video.